All right, what up, everybody? We are live Sunday. We got a Germany game. Jon Mosales is 10:30 in the morning, but it feels earlier. Patrick Leary's in Seattle, so it's 7:30, so it is earlier. Patrick, how you doing? We're just waiting on Anthony.
Good. Yeah, excited for some ball today. We're gonna it's a decent slate, I would say. Got a couple of bangers in there. I think there's a lot of interesting things happening though.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the slate, but games are games. As long as it's a good Sunday game, good afternoon game, 1 o'clock games are glut. We got the London game. You been watching this? Germany. Oh, I'm gonna do that a lot.
Germany. That's right. I was assuming it was like clearly I haven't been watching it with sound because they probably would have been hamming up the Germany thing pretty significantly. But yeah. I think the Panthers look a little bit better than they have at points this year. Chuba Hubbard's already at 80 yards, which is crazy.
Yeah. So what's your thinking for these early games? Because they kind of go under. They're both bad games, but like Carolina D so bad, Giants rush D so bad. Like, would you have a lot of guys playing?
I don't. Yeah, those aren't two teams that I really have a ton of. I haven't really been in for like Tracy on waivers. I haven't really been in, unfortunately, because he's been great. Panthers I've mostly steered clear of. Honestly, the biggest exposure I have for it, and this isn't actually like something that I'm playing actively, but I'm a Bryce Young dynasty guy, so that's been quite a terrible situation so far for me, but I think he looks at least a little better. I've been waiver wire column pumping up Wandale for most of the year. He's a little he's not doing the best lately. His standard sort of 5 catches for however many yards PPR has really started to he's gotten the downside case a couple of weeks in a row. So neither of these teams are super, obviously they're two of the worst teams in the league, but neither of them are super interesting.
Not really. All right, we got Anthony here. Yo, what up, Anthony? You just watching your G-Men?
Hey guys, yeah. I am. They stink. But yeah, I'm reluctantly watching them this week for sure.
This is great. I got the game on the background. That's perfect. Honestly, don't change anything.
Yeah, I didn't blur it out this week, so there you go.
Oh, great. Not much to see. So just any quick reactions here from watching? I mean, Hubbard's running wild. Giants, Pat Rushdy's been terrible. Neighbor's been in check. Tracy a little bit, although I saw he just had a nice run. I mean, this is a game you expect to win, right?
Yeah, this is a game I definitely expected the Giants to at least look competitive in, but I mean, the Giants are looking like they're getting worse and worse, and Bryce Young is looking like he's a bit improved after taking a backseat for a couple weeks, and the Panthers offense is rolling.
What do you attribute that? Just the early game, Germany, maybe their clocks, schedule, maybe you guys were out drinking, neither of these teams are making the playoffs, right? So,
yeah, I mean, I'm sure traveling abroad and playing a football game and trying to stay in your routine is probably pretty tough, because I feel like athletes are very routine oriented, especially around game day and preparation. But no, I mean, honestly, I just feel like the Giants are heading in the wrong direction. And the Panthers are maybe just starting to figure it out.
Do you want to win this game as a Giants fan?
What was that?
Do you want to win this game as a Giants fan?
I will never root for my team to lose.
I like that mentality.
I will never root for my team to lose, but I understand the value at this point of losing. If you look at last year, they won a couple of games at the end of the season that ended up being meaningless. Again, I was rooting for them to win, but they ended up missing out on potentially being able to draft Jaden Daniels or Drake May, and you're in a totally new spot. So, yeah, I mean, they got Neighbors, but it doesn't matter too much without the quarterback. So I see the value in losing at this point, but I'll never root for them to lose.
Who'd you rather have on the Giants right now, Caleb Williams or Malik Neighbors?
Probably still Caleb Williams, even though he hasn't looked good. The quarterback is just that important.
No, for sure. So let's talk fantasy quickly for this game. We got a couple questions we'll jump to too. But then also anyone watching on Twitter, come over to YouTube because then you can post questions. If we don't hit anything, check us out on Discord. I'll be on it. because Sunday weekend, if we got a lot of action. If you're 4-5, you need a win. If you're 5-4, I got a league where like 8 or like 9 teams are between 4-5 and 5-4. So this really is big. Who would you have started though? Like if you had Tracy and Hubbard, what would you have done, Anthony?
I actually have both in a league, and I had to make that decision because I was already starting James Cook, Jahmyr Gibbs. I went with Chase Brown on Thursday night.
Nice.
I started Tyrone Tracy. I made the wrong decision.
So far.
So far, I definitely made the wrong decision. The Panthers' run defense has just been too juicy to pass up, giving up just a ton of touchdowns to running backs, rushing touchdowns, all that good stuff. It was a process play, but it's not looking like the results are going to comply.
What's the carry split been for Singletary Tracy lately? Is it like 70-30?
That I'm not 100% sure. I do know Tracy's been a top 10 running back, so I would think that he's gotten definitely the majority of them. But I know that, in games against the Panthers, the RB2, in this case Singletary, is actually scored 6 times, and the RB1 is scored in 6 different games as well. So, it was a good bet to get a touchdown. Both of them really are, but the Giants need to move the ball first.
Yeah. The RB2 scores when they're up, not when they're down.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just jump right in here. Patrick, I'll give you this first one. So, Cass, what up, Cass? My guy, always dropping early questions. Sorry, I didn't even see. All right, flex, Josh Downs or James Conner? Okay. So we got Indy's playing Buffalo. No Michael Pittman, right? James Conner. It's Arizona and the Jets.
Jets, yeah.
Right? Jets are a run funnel because their pass D's great. So this is probably pretty easy, right?
Yeah, this feels like Connor's just, there are a lot of running backs having good years, but Connor is, every time you watch him, he's running people over in the open field and getting an extra 10 yards. So yeah, I really like Connor here, as much as I am the Downs guy.
Jason's gone Downs on Downs Island. Anthony, any argument for starting Downs here? Buffalo's got a pretty good pass D. Maybe they're down playing catch up.
No arguments for me. Connor's going to get the volume. He's a true workhorse. You don't mess with that.
Okay. What's happening in the game there? What's the punting?
Panthers just punted the ball. It's still 10-0. About 5.5 minutes left until halftime.
Okay. I got some Tracy stairs. Okay, we got Sheldo. So guys, hit us with any questions, right? We got live games. It's gonna be half. Sheldo, we're getting to your game. We're getting to your question. He goes, I'm so cooked. 4-5. 4-5's not bad. 4-5's alive.
No, but it means you're very much in it.
You gotta be close to running the table. But if you're a good team, it's better to peak late. Anyway, should I pick up Alec Pierce or AD Mitchell? Start them full PPR. All right, now we're talking, right? So we got Indy, we got Pittman out. Right, we got Mitchell. Mitchell's the rookie that everybody liked. Alec Pierce has kind of been that nice deep threat. And you got Downs over the middle. What do we think? Let's go, Anthony. Let's go you first.
I'm probably going to go with Alec Pierce. He's at least produced this season. I'm interested in the mystery box. That's AD Mitchell with I guess more of an opportunity with Pittman out. But Alec Pierce has actually had 3 games where he's scored double-digit points. Like I said, he's connected with Anthony Richardson before, although I know it's Joe Flacco. But Alec Pierce just feels a little bit safer.
Yeah, Patrick?
Yeah, I think I would go with Alec Pierce both because I think he's got a better chance to catch a 60-yard touchdown pass. And also AD Mitchell has only had 4 catches. 4 catches is his career high right now in a game. So, and I think there's been, mixed situations with the Colts wide receiver core. So it's not like this is the very first time AD Mitchell has Downs missed a week or so. And it's not like it's probably the best maybe opportunity AD Mitchell has had, but I don't love the overall package.
Okay, so we're all on Pierce. I'm starting Pierce in the league, but how much would we like Pierce? Like, if let's say we could go back in time in this game, would you start anyone in the Germany game over Alec Pierce, Anthony? Like Wandale, obviously Neighbors are starting.
Yeah, obviously Neighbors, but
Right.
I maybe would have thought about Leggett or Coker, but I probably would have went with Alec Pierce, to be honest.
Yeah, I kind of like Pierce in this game, right? Because we got Flacco. He's going to play better than probably last week. Buffalo's probably going to kill Indy, right? So we're probably going to be negative pass spread, boom, all right? And he's pretty boomy, right? The Bills. I know their pass defense is really good, but I see Flacco throwing 250, 275 this week. Pierce get a nice chunk of that, and if he scores, I mean, he's got wide receiver 2 potential. I'd say, like top upside.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly going to be tough for him. The Bills are really good at limiting explosive plays, only giving up two passes of over 40 yards, and they're among the league leaders in limiting big plays over 20 yards as well. So it'll certainly be tough, but again, he's proven he can done it. You just need one play.
Okay. Well, so guys, give us your questions. Let's keep moving on. Let's talk Thursday. Let's talk that Thursday game. That was such a banger, right? Bengals were 6.5-point underdogs. We're leading. Then we just had that fumble, and that just Chase Brown fumble, right? And that just flipped the game. Anyone playing against like a Chase Burrow stack?
Not Chase Burrow stack, but I have some Chase. I'm against a Chase in one of my favorite leagues. So that it's nice because it's like one of the better teams in the league, and I was kind of pricing in that I might lose this week because I got some injuries, some guys down, and I don't even have to worry about it now because I started down 50, so there's no way I can make up for it with like Sterling Shepard as my last guy in my lineup. So.
Yeah. So. Did we learn anything from that game? I mean, right? Other than Chase's, the big guys are beasts, but like, Deontay Johnson, everybody thought maybe he'd have like a DeAndre Hopkins second week boom, but he didn't do anything. Rashad Bateman stayed alive.
Yeah, I know it's only been Deontay Johnson's second game in Baltimore, but I'm starting to question why they traded for him if they're not going to use him. I mean, I know it was really dirt cheap. I think it was like a 5th round pick or something. But if you're not going to use him, and he's a guy that needs a lot of volume, or can handle a lot of volume at least. So I'm just kind of questioning that. Maybe they should have traded for somebody in the secondary to help their pass defense a little bit.
Yeah, like Lattimore.
Yeah, that would have been great. So I'm definitely a little bit concerned about Deontay Johnson, and it looks like Zay Flowers is going to be still the number one guy there.
Yeah, I had a big Flowers bet that didn't hit, but so yeah, Flowers wide receiver 1, but Bateman. So nobody's dropping Bateman, and you got to keep playing him. Patrick, you're looking.
I don't know. He's kind of fringy for me. He had a good game, but
he's had a bunch of good games.
Yeah, I'll pull it up, but I think he's still in like a standard like sort of redraft league. I think he's still a little fringy.
Okay, because I mean, if Lamar's going to throw 4 passing touchdowns every game, right? He's got a good chance to get chunks of that.
Yeah, definitely. Although they have a lot of tight ends to catch those. But one thing on the Thursday night game, Chase Brown has every Bengals running back touch since Zach Moss was out, which is, I mean, obviously they don't have a ton there. They've just brought in Khalil Herbert. He had a fumble.
Oh, and Herbert fumbled?
What?
I think they credited
it, not Chase.
I think they credited it to Joe Burrow.
Yeah, they didn't end up giving it away. They recovered the ball, but it was the one snap that Khalil Herbert played. He came in and the handoff was mishandled and they gave it to Burrow, so he didn't get a touch. And so Chase Brown has every Bengals running back touch since Zach Moss went out. And I think that's pretty impressive that he's kind of basically become a RB1 full workhorse back in a really good offense in his second year. So he is a real trending up player for me and might be like a top 15 running back next year if he continues his trajectory because he's just been really impressive.
So let's play. Who would you rather have rest of the season, Anthony? Chase Brown or Tyrone Tracy?
Chase Brown. Better offense.
Okay. And then okay, cool. And then back to you, Patrick. You just mentioned the tight end. So Mark Andrews, he's back from the dead. Seems like he's scoring touchdowns every week.
Yeah, I think if you have him, he should play every week right now, just because he's looked much more. The last like 3-4 weeks has been much more what you would expect from just generic random Mark Andrews games, than whatever happened to him at the beginning of the year. I have no idea sort of I haven't got a good explanation for why he just faded for 5-6 weeks. It could be that he was injured from that car accident he got in, and they kind of just like slow walked how banged up he was from that. But I still don't have like a very good understanding of where he went, because he just kind of looks like himself again, and the kind of guy that you draft in like the 4th or 5th tight end off the board, and then you just kind of stick in and he scores touchdowns more often than not. So.
Yeah. So then Isaiah Likely, scrappy.
Oh
Right?
yeah, brutal, man. Just the biggest waiver tease of all time. From that in week 1, where you come off a year where you got like Puka Nacua as like a week 1 waiver guy, and so everyone's like, oh my god, like we've got to like hammer these early waivers, and this is the guy, and like dump your budget, and now it's just like, it's a tricky game. You got to kind of balance the strategies, and Likely just has not kept it going, which is unfortunate for those who really paid up for him in the first week.
Yeah, I got burned week 1. I used my waiver 1 priority, and I had Bauer, so I don't even think I've played Likely since then. But so yeah, sticking on waiver wire, right? So you write the waiver wire article every week.
Yeah.
You said it's been a little slow lately.
Yeah.
So just let's talk strategy, right? Let's say $100 budget, fab. You've been saving it. Are you looking to blow your stack in the next week or two if there's a great opportunity?
For sure. Yeah, I think at this stage of the season, especially if you've been conservative, you've got to pounce on what you assess as like the one big injury that happens in the next couple of weeks. I mean, that's like the real opening is whenever that guy in the top like 20 at running back or wide receiver goes down over the next couple of weeks inevitably, and the opportunity opens up for weeks, like 12 through 17. That's when you got to nail down that guy that's going to kind of be the playoff difference maker.
So what about, does it matter standings? Like, let's say you're 7-2. Are you thinking more likely save it for that week 14, that playoff, right? Where you can really...
I think it doesn't. I don't really care about record. I mean, obviously, if you're like out of it, this isn't like great advice, because you probably aren't gonna. You've either spent it already, or it doesn't really matter to you anymore. But I think you could be a fringe playoff contender to dominating the division if you've held on to the fab to this point. You've got to empty the clip for the right, especially. If it's one of your guys that gets injured, inevitably, because a lot of the opportunities get opened up by guys who are on good teams, good fantasy teams. So,
okay, Anthony, let's jump into this question here. JSC 420. I don't understand.
Hold on, I gotta laugh at this question before you go. I've been peeking at it. This is my friend Jesse. This question is directly targeted for me. He's trying to negotiate a trade with me. I think,
oh wow!
As we speak, so I actually want to let Patrick take this question.
Wait, so okay. This is a good dynasty trade. I like this kind of dynasty trade.
Some loaded language.
I think you can tell which way he's going on this one.
I like Cortland Sutton, but if you're trying to win this year, I would definitely consider this trade for like this guy's perspective, where he's getting Cortland Sutton instead of Tyron Tracy. Tyron Tracy has looked good, but his future beyond this year, I would say, is still significantly uncertain, only because a late round running back is not guaranteed their spot year over year. Even like the Dameon Pierce situation is a great example of what Tyron Tracy's downside could be. And I would say that if you're really hurting at wide receiver, I don't love Cortland Sutton. I think he's heated up for sure. But I still think maybe he hasn't totally put together a season that makes him a slam dunk veteran buy case for a team that's trying to win. But I would definitely consider this. I think this is like a fair value wise.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's a loaded question, but I hate Sutton. I don't really want to part of that Denver offense.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, Tracy, but realistically, if we're talking dynasty, there's a good chance neither of these guys will really matter, right? So,
yeah.
Tracy's got the upside. Bo Nix is going to be the guy, and he's not going to be slinging it anytime soon.
Interesting. I kind of agree with Patrick. I think the value is there. Just to add my input, Jesse, and then we can further our trade talks offline after I finish up. But I think that the value is, I think this is something that we can work with potentially. I'm Patrick. I'm the team in need of a wide receiver looking to make a push this season. So we'll talk offline, Jesse. Thanks for the question.
Okay. So yeah, guys, hit us with questions. We want them all. Kills, takes up a lot of time. We can get into stuff. But let's just keep talking preview. Actually, Anthony, let's go early. Let's go. What are some of your bets this week?
We'll start with this game. I had Tyrone Tracy to score a touchdown.
Okay.
And or go over 100 yards.
Rushing, receiving.
Rushing.
Oh, you did alt line?
What was that?
You did like an alternative line?
Yeah. I went 100 plus rushing yards. Yeah, it was plus 200. Not looking great. I probably should have bet that on Chuba Hubbard instead.
Not looking bad. It's alive.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see how it plays out. I'm trying to find some good ones. I like Jonathan Taylor over 81.5 rushing yards this week. The Bills defense just gets gashed every week.
Yep.
By running backs.
Was it the worry though that he gets scripted out? Or you think they're going to run, they don't want Flacco throwing 45 times?
I don't think they want Flacco throwing 45 times. I think they're going to try to manage the game on the road through the run game. And I mean, I don't really know what else the Colts are supposed to do other than try to get the ball to Josh Downs, a deep bomb to Alec Pierce, and give the ball to Jonathan Taylor. And then I'll just give one more here. I guess tied to the Cortland Sutton trade question, I have Bo Nix under a half a passing touchdown today in Kansas City. I went over his home road splits last week. They're abysmal. I think he's only thrown off the top of my head. I think he's only thrown one passing touchdown on the road. The Chiefs are really good against quarterbacks. They're great defense. So trying to get a little plus money on that one, and Bo Nix to not throw a touchdown pass today, which maybe limits Cortland Sutton's upside here in my favor for this potential trade.
Cool. What else we got?
Not sure.
What else we got? I've got Alvin Kamara over 5.5 receptions. They don't have anyone.
Wow.
They don't have anyone else to throw the ball to. I think. So what is it? What is his first name? Tipton is their wide receiver one. They have MVS. I think I saw.
Yeah.
Alvin Kamara might see 15 targets today.
Yeah, I mean, he had 200 all-purpose yards last week, so
close to it or something like that. Yeah, I like George Kittle to score a touchdown today. I actually like everybody in this game. Anyone can score a touchdown. The Buccaneers are a top 7 matchup for every position in fantasy: the quarterbacks, the running backs, the receivers, the tight ends. Start your San Francisco 49ers this week.
Okay, yeah. So how would we rank those, right? Because we got CMC back, so Jordan Mason's toast. Debo, I think I saw is going to play, but how would you rank them for fantasy?
George Kittle's number 1 for me.
Kittle 1, okay.
Yeah, George Kittle's number 1 for me. He's the best tight end in football, and I don't think it's particularly close. Debo Samuel's coming off an oblique rib injury. The receivers behind him are, I know Juwan Johnson had a 40-point week, but he's got a hip injury he's managing. They're trying to work some other guys in. Christian McCaffrey, it's his first game back. Jordan Mason's got a shoulder injury. I could really see them just relying on a big George Kittle game in what is a winnable matchup on the road.
Yeah, okay. And then Purdy must start with CMC. Does he get downgraded or now because the receiving touchdowns? Is it like a wash?
No, I'm probably still starting Brock Purdy over most options that I have. He's probably in line for a top 10, 12-ish day, if not a little bit higher.
Okay. So we have your follow-up question here from your buddy. So we'll keep it with Patrick and keep it unbiased. Right? Yards have to go somewhere for the Saints. How would y'all break down the Saints receiving game as a whole?
Oh man.
So we got no Bub Means. Is it Cedric Tipton?
No, it's Mason Tipton.
Mason Tipton.
Cedric Wilson is there as well, I believe.
But is he even playing? Like
No,
he was
I don't
hurt?
think he's playing. I'm honestly, I'm really just staying away from it. I don't know if anybody can begin to speculate what they're going to do because they have a bunch of guys that not many folks have heard of or have been on 3, 4, 5, 6 teams throughout their career. I could see them using Juwan Johnson a little bit more.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah, or Foster Moreau too. Like they have 2 tight ends that can catch the ball.
3, Taysom Hill, right?
Oh, yeah. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I think Taysom Hill's definitely going to get some run today. But, I mean, the Saints, you're right, Jesse. The yards have to go somewhere. But it's tough to predict where. Like I said, I think Kamara might end up leading this team. I think there's a good chance that he leads this team in targets today. So I think they're just going to rely on Alvin Kamara.
Apparently, Dante Pettis is in the mix today. There.
When did he even get there?
The old, I don't know, the old University of Washington receiver who was one of my favorite college receivers. So that's exciting. Good for Dante.
Yeah, he was on the Giants for a short period of time, and I know he had a couple of good games with the 49ers. He's been around. He's a name, definitely a name that we recognize. But I wouldn't have known he was still in the league. To be honest,
we recognize it because of the name, not the talent.
Exactly.
Here the 5 wide receivers on the active roster are Marcus Valdes-Scantling, Mason Tipton, Dante Pettis, Jermaine Jackson, and Kevin Austin Jr.
Oh, so one thing I could see if anybody is to be relevant and if MVS gets some snaps, Derek Carr, his early season success over the first 2 weeks came largely because of deep bombs to Rashid Shaheed, right? And that's kind of what MVS's skill set is. So if I think that he can have maybe a big play if he can catch the ball. But again, otherwise, I just don't really know what you're going to do with this Saints passing offense. And you've got to be in a 16, 18, 20 team league to really, I think, be looking this far down the barrel at starting wide receivers and flex options. But maybe MVS, again, if they're going to have any success, that's kind of where Derek Carr has it if he doesn't have a Chris Olave target monster type guy.
Michael Thomas? Does he bring him back?
Based off of Michael Thomas's social media storm against Derek Carr, I don't know that Michael Thomas would want to come back and play for him.
Why isn't he on a team? He had a good year last year. I don't like
Michael Thomas?
Yeah.
I don't know. Did he play last year?
Yeah, he was good. He was really good.
He got hurt in the week 7 or something, and then was out for the rest of the season. But he was okay to start the year for sure.
Yeah. I'm not sure. Then I
probably
I don't know why he's not.
Combination of old and
it's like 28.
Maybe not. Is he really only 28?
I don't know. But he, that's my guess.
Probably personality, not a great mix to just toss into a.
Yeah, but there's so many wide receivers are hurt. You're telling me like somebody.
He's 31.
Oh, 31. Yeah, okay.
I was like 28. That would be crazy. He should be in the league if he was 28.
Let's go. We got a couple of fantasy teams with real teams with QBs hurt, right? So what are we doing, Anthony? What are we doing with Jacksonville, right? We got Lawrence. They said he might be out for the year. Christian Kirk out for the year. Brian Thomas is going to play. Evan Ingram, Gabe Davis is going to play. Is it even a downgrade going from the former Pats QB from Trevor Lawrence to I'm forgetting his name? Mac Jones. Yeah, that's how memorable he is.
Yeah. I think you have to assume it's a downgrade. I mean, he was the backup for a reason. I know that they just paid Trevor Lawrence a ton of money, so money talks sometimes. So you have to assume it's a bit of a downgrade.
But it could be an sneaky upgrade, though, right? You're not taking it off the table.
No, it certainly could be. I'm not taking it off the table. Mac Jones had a pretty decent rookie year.
Right.
If we remember, I don't have the stats in front of me per se, but there was some promise coming into year 2. And then his final season in New England was just abysmal. I think he was benched after 11 or 12 games for what Bailey's happy. He was the quarterback 38 in that time span. So the most recent stretch that we've seen from Mac Jones has been really a disaster. But, sometimes you just get these quarterbacks that, teams move on from, high draft pedigree, new scene, sometimes
the
it
Reclamation
requires to
Project.
learn. Yeah, I mean, sometimes they come out and look at Bryce Young. He sat for a couple games behind Andy Dalton, and past 2 weeks, he's looking all right. So there's certainly a world where Mac Jones makes Evan Ingram and Brian Thomas Jr. worthwhile still, and those two players are just so talented that they might even be able to do it with a worse quarterback than Trevor Lawrence back there. But you assume it's a downgrade, but I think you start both in most, if not all, situations anyway.
Yeah, right. We got Baker Reclamation, and we got Sam Darnold. So we got these guys who, change the scenery, maybe a little humbling, and then all of a sudden they're playing the best ball of anyone. So I think Mac Jones, sneaky. I wouldn't start in fantasy. I wouldn't even roster him 1 QB, but I think he could be okay. And I think Gabe Davis playing, he might step into a bigger role. But Ingram, Brian Thomas Jr. are must starts. Okay. And then, the other QB I was going to say, who am I forgetting?
Yeah, hang on. Let's stick with Mac Jones for a second. I think we got a question. I don't know if you were going to Cooper Rush because Dak is injured, so that's kind of a good segue.
Going to pivot to, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh, perfect.
Good timing.
Take it away.
So who do you think will perform better this week? Cooper Rush, Mac Jones. All right. So we got the Cowboys playing
the Eagles.
Yeah, Philly, right?
And Minnesota for the Jags.
Minnesota Jags, right? So Eagles secondary's played better. Vikings are going to be blitzing. We know that. But Cooper's got CeeDee Lamb. So I don't know, Patrick. What are you doing? Who? If you had to start one,
I think I would probably start Cooper Rush. Although I think that hasn't the Eagles secondary been better than traditional? So that's kind of tricky. I think I would just start Cooper Rush only because that's that Eagles versus the Cowboys backup quarterback matchup is always like a trap to a certain extent, and so I think I'd go with Cooper Rush, but I worry Mac Jones will just get blitzed to death by the Vikings, and he'll look like a worse version of what Joe Flacco looked like against the Vikings last week.
And the Jags just traded one of their best O-linemen to Minnesota.
Right, Cam Robinson. Yeah.
So maybe can he give them their signals or some inside info. So
yeah, and everyone on the Jags is hurt. I don't like they're all playing, but everyone's kind of not 100%, and so I'd be Cooper Rush with CeeDee Lamb and Tolbert's looked good, and he's got all Dak's weapons. That actually might be a nice reset especially if Dak's been playing through stuff.
Anthony, who's got a better situation, Mac Jones or Cooper Rush for this week?
I lean Mac Jones. The Eagles are dominant. The Cowboys have really just recognized that their season is over. So I could see this just being a total letdown for Dallas in every way, even at home. Philly's a really good team. The Vikings are okay against quarterbacks. They're kind of right in the middle. I think 18th in the league, if I remember correctly, but they're somewhere in there. I would actually lean Mac Jones to have a better performance, to be honest. And it might just be a gut feeling, but I'd go Mac Jones over Cooper Rush. Really, again, just because I think Dallas could just have a major letdown against a great division opponent right after you find out your quarterback season's essentially over.
Okay. Both teams definitely big dogs. I mean, yeah, right. Negative game script, but yeah, can Max survive the blitz? And when is Rush, is he hyper target CeeDee, right? That's what I would do. I think his winning, like Cooper Rush has been a winning QB in his last few starts. It's like something really good, like 5-1.
He has been. Let me pull up what I wrote a bit about Cooper Rush. He's only started 6 games in his career. He's been around for 7 now. The last time he really played meaningful football for like a period of time and not just like a spot starter filling in was 2022. He averaged 191 yards, a touchdown, an interception every other game. But
yeah.
I mean, he's okay. He's not a world beater. He did have a game where he threw for 325 yards and 2 touchdowns back in 2021, but that was, far and away the best game of his career.
I wonder if there's any fantasy superflex teams that are starting Cooper Rush and Mac Jones this week.
I do think both are worth a speculative add in superflex. Any starting quarterback has some sort of value, and obviously, like we said, we've heard Dak is most likely going to be done for the year, at least going on IR. And John, you said that Trevor Lawrence might be done for the season.
Yeah.
When did that come out? I might have missed that, but
today.
Yeah, I mean,
Rossini reported that this morning, right?
Or Shep, yeah, will not play. Oh, yeah.
I knew he probably wasn't going to play, but I missed the part where he might miss the entire season. And yeah, any starting quarterback is viable in Superflex, so both of them are worth a speculative add at the very
least. Miss the rest of the season because of a serious AC joint sprain. Sources tell Mike Silver and Diana Rossini.
Well, we'll see. Maybe Lawrence has been terrible. Mac Jones maybe is the secret savior. You never know, right?
I think Lawrence needs the rest of the year off. His body language, and he looks hurt, and I feel like he needs a reset. So I wouldn't be surprised if they kind of do that anyway.
Yeah, they still had Christian Kirk. I'd say maybe they could go for a sneaky run, but yeah, I doubt it. Okay, Dylan Fink, my guy, what up? Full PPR. What's a DIF league?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Oh, I think he's got 2 questions in 2 different leagues here.
Different leagues. Wow.
Yeah. There it is.
Yeah. I wish we could edit that out. Okay, first one. Start sit. Cam Akers or who's Rodriguez?
That's got to be Chris Rodriguez from the Commanders, right?
They just signed him off the practice squad.
This is ugly.
Officially making him part of the team, and I'm going to go with. I think I'm going to go with Chris Rodriguez because of that. Isn't Akers in Minnesota now?
Yeah, but he's been playing pretty well. I think he had more yards than Aaron Jones last week.
Did he? Good for him. I'm still going to go Chris Rodriguez. I'm not a Cam Akers fan. I think they signed him for a reason. Brian Robinson's out today. They kind of split the carries up a bit, pretty evenly between Eckler, Rodriguez, and McNichols last week. Aaron Jones has typically been a workhorse this season, so I just think Rodriguez probably has a little bit more upside. But that is incredibly ugly.
Okay, Patrick, I'm going. I mean, man, this got to be a deep league, but I'm going Akers. Akers did more work. I mean, I don't really want any part of the Steelers' defense. And yeah, I mean, right? I like McNichols, right? Eckler in the passing game, McNichols can handle like that third running back because Ty Chandler's kind of been phased out. At least Akers is your RB2.
Yeah, I mean, ugly is the right word. Maybe I guess you lean Akers if you're going to spin it this way, since the matchup is Steelers or Jags. Maybe you lean Akers because there's a chance Minnesota could just detonate Mac Jones and Akers comes in and plays the fourth quarter.
Yeah, exactly. That's where my brain was going.
Because I don't think that's a possibility with the Commanders and the Steelers. I think the Steelers defense is just too difficult to blow out.
It's a possibility, but it's non-zero. Where I think Vikings could just roll Jags. Jags have given up. Akers gets that fourth quarter touchdown, and he has like 8 carries, 40 yards, 2 catches, and he just claws his way to 12 points.
I think they'd be incentivized to rest Jones too, because he was injured. He didn't miss any time, but he was injured in between when they were on their bye, and so if they can get to a situation where Akers is the guy handling all the touches in a not close game, I think they would do that.
Okay, so yeah, me and Patrick are saying Akers, and he's on Rodriguez. All right, next question. All right, Baker versus Kyler. So we got 3 questions. Okay, Baker, Kyler, right? So we got Baker, no weapons, doesn't seem to matter. Jalen McMillan, I think questionable. He might play. I'm not really sure.
Bad matchups for both.
Huh?
Bad matchups for both.
Yeah. But Baker's just lit up the Chiefs, right? So, he's kind of proof. And then, Kyler. I mean, I hate Kyler. I mean, I think.
Ooh, hate Kyler. That's strong.
Kyler's so reliable.
Every time I watch him and bet on him, he's just doing nothing. Yeah. So he's a little Kyler. I'm going Baker here. Right, shootout potential. He's getting those sneaky rush yards too. He's throwing to his running backs. Kate Otten's now a beast. Kyler's gonna have 150 yards versus the Jets, right? And sometimes he runs, sometimes he doesn't. I think ceiling floor Baker for sure.
I'm gonna go Kyler.
Oh, and I'm kicking you out.
I'm gonna go Kyler really because of the rushing floor.
I bet Baker's had more rushing yards the last 3 games.
That's fine, but Kyler's always a threat to go off for much more than that. I just think the talent is better in Arizona. Kyler's just the better quarterback. Although Baker has been playing well this year, but I just can't continue to ignore how decimated their offense is.
I just saw a guy added Jalen McMillan in fantasy, so I think he's got to be playing. Does that move the needle?
Probably not. I did add him in a couple of leagues as well.
Okay, Mike Evans is playing. Does that move the needle?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
That moves.
He's not actually playing.
Mike Evans playing moves the needle, but no, I think we got to wait till next week at the very least.
I was just seeing if you were drunk on Kyler juice.
No.
Patrick, break the tie for us.
Barely Baker.
Baker.
Ooh, okay.
Does he lead touchdowns?
He's been amazing. I drafted Jordan Love on a team and picked up Baker after he got hurt in week 1, and he's been amazing.
Probably starting Baker, yeah.
Yeah, I am.
I got to write that one down. Baker over Kyler. Okay. I'm keeping notes on those.
It's just the matchup. I think if Kyler's against a not Jets type team, I think I would say, and I know Baker's got the 49ers, but I think Kyler chasing in a high scoring matchup would be more appealing, I would say. But
yeah. Baker, stupid Kyler. Okay. Scrap Daddy, half point PPR, Amari Cooper, Ricky Pearsall. Okay, so Cooper, we got Keon Coleman's out, right?
Yeah,
Cooper.
And Cooper was questionable. I guess Cooper's playing. I got to check the injury report. So Cooper missed last week, but just a juicy matchup, right? But then Ricky Pearsall, we got Juwan Jennings, we got McCaffrey back, we got Debo playing.
Also a juicy matchup.
Huh?
Also a juicy matchup.
Yeah, exactly. But I think Cooper, you got wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2 kind of status, where Pearsall, he's wide receiver 3. He's the 5th option.
We should know on Cooper in like a few minutes here.
If Cooper plays, I'm going to go Cooper to get to the question. Yeah, I'm going to go Cooper if he's available. The Bills brought him in for a reason. It's a high-powered offense. He should be the number 1, or at least the 1A with Khalil Shakir, who's been playing well. I just want to see it a little bit more from Ricky Pearsall. But I think he's got a pretty good career ahead of him. But as for Week 10 in 2024, give me Amari Cooper.
Yeah, Patrick, what if Juwan Jennings was out? Would that make you like Pearsall
for sure?
More?
Yeah, I think so. We have not seen Jennings, Debo, and Pearsall all on the field. So I don't know.
And McCaffrey.
Right, and that's obviously a huge variable to toss in at the same time when you're seeing all that for the first time. We just don't know what that mix looks like. I think Pearsall has some good rest of season upside, but I don't want to play him necessarily until I see whether Juwan Jennings mostly ices him out.
So Anthony, which defense is more get all your guys in? Like the Buffalo, or like Buffalo playing Indy, or San Fran playing Tampa?
San Fran playing Tampa, which goes against my Cooper over Pearsall advice, but
all right. We can be hypocrites here.
What was that?
We can be hypocrites here.
Yeah, I just think, like I said earlier, the Tampa defense is a top 7 matchup for all the offensive positions across the board in fantasy football. get those guys in if you can, except for Ricky Pearsall over Amari Cooper.
But Indy's also like Indy was probably the worst defense in the league. I think what some people do is they get attached to the early season and don't see the teams pivot, right? Like as the Indy defense picked up a little steam. I know they held Houston to low. Who did Indy play last week? I know that wasn't a high scoring game. Was it Indy Minnesota, the night game, right?
Yeah, and they played well.
So right, people seem to miss the teams evolve over the season, right? You can have a great defense first half, bad the second half, vice versa, right? The key is to kind of stay on the curve, if not at least not ahead of it. So do you think Indy's D might be a little bit better than advertised, whereas Tampa's is getting worse?
Maybe, but I think you make a great point that at a certain point in the season, as you get later and later, I don't want to say the entirety of the season matters less, because of course it all matters. All the data you have is better, but it's almost also good to look at, the past 2 weeks, the past 3, 4, 5 weeks, just to see, because injuries happen, players improve or decline over the year. So I just think that was a really good point to highlight.
So what else? Let's go. We got about 15 minutes left. Let's just go to the night game, because that's the game of the week. Well, other than Thursday, right? Patrick, so we got Lions, Texans, Nico Collins back. There's no world where you're benching Nico, right? It's just
no. If he's on the field, I mean, he's the game changer.
Okay, right, exactly. Okay, Tank Dell, wide receiver 2, is that a better spot? Nico stretches the field. Could Tank actually be better with Nico?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, decision wise, I'm Tank Dell's in either way. I mean, I think there's possible, and I kind of feel this about Amari Cooper and Khalil Shakir as well, that if Collins is in but slightly banged up, it might be really good for the other guy, because he's running the routes and he's got to be respected. But if the one guy is much more healthier than the other, I think he's a worthy play. Yeah, Tank Dell for sure, though. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Okay, and then what about CJ Stroud? Like, he's kind of been let downy, right? He's not getting the touchdowns, not even really getting the yards. Who, Goff or CJ, if you had to start one at QB?
Goff. I mean, the Lions are just so productive. They're the Lions and the Ravens are the fantasy offenses this year in terms of just like crazy bonkers numbers. So.
But Goff's doing it with he had they had 50 points. He had 50 yards.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely some risk. I don't think they would do that against the Texans, though. I think the game would be much more normal than the weird Titans blowout where Goff got phased out because they just scored 1 million rushing touchdowns.
I'd go Stroud over Goff.
Stroud over Goff. Okay.
I think they're really close. I think Nico Collins makes a big difference. The Lions' pass defense is just really bad. They're among the worst in the league in that area. It's at home in Houston. I like CJ Stroud to have a bounce back. The Lions actually run the ball on over 50% of their plays as well, so that's something to note. Whereas I know Joe Mixon's been having a great year, but I think the Texans throw the ball a bit more. I think they're close, but I would lean CJ Stroud.
Okay, let's play my favorite game. So you got 3 fantasy players from the Lions. Who are you going with? Because they got 6 guys. We got James Williams back from suspension, pending gun charge. What are you doing? 3 guys.
3 guys from the Lions?
Yeah.
Patrick, you want to start this one?
Yeah, wait. Sorry, is the game to pick 3 guys on the Lions to play?
Yeah, Anthony, you got to go first while Patrick learns the game.
Okay.
I get it. Okay. I mean, we're assuming one quarterback, right? Because obviously Superflex, Jared Goff is okay. I mean, it's going to be Gibbs, Montgomery, and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Yeah, I think you just kind of take the bait. You go chalk. Those are David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs actually have both finished inside the top 24 every week except for one, where David Montgomery finished as RB35. They're both incredibly consistent and productive together. And you start both of them each and every week. And then Amon-Ra always has that top 5 wide receiver 1 potential any given week, despite the fact that the Lions like to run the ball more than they throw it.
Okay, Patrick, any you can sneak Jameson Williams in there?
Yeah, no, those are my 3 too. the other guys outside of those three in the Lions offense, particularly Laporta, have actually been pretty frustrating. So those guys are just so solid that you just go with those three guys.
Yeah, I would love, as much as I'd love to start saying Laporta, he's on the cover of the Letdown magazine for this year.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, we got about 10 minutes left. So anyone, if you're on Twitter, jump over to YouTube, give us a question. Right, we got hour and 40 minutes to lineups lock. We got this game. What's going on there?
Big time. There you go.
Tyrone Tracy gets in the end zone for me.
Yeah, let's go.
It is. Now I just need him to have over 100 yards, and that would
that was probably 40.
That was 40. Okay,
there we go.
All
right, we're alive, boys. We're back.
He's at 84.
We're back. The price on Tyrone Tracy just went up, Jesse.
Huge.
We are so back, boys.
Let's just watch this play. Where is it?
Yeah, let's see. Just breaks through. Okay.
Oh, baby. I love me some Tracy.
The finish at the end there,
man,
too.
He's looking so good.
All right. Good. We're going to end this on a high note. Okay, read some more. Second question. Would you trade a mid-round first and late first for Brooks and Olave, 1 QB dynasty? So, Patrick, you're doing most of our dynasty stuff, so I'm just going to that way.
I don't know why you would make this trade, only because why are you trading first-round picks for two guys who might not play for the rest of the season?
First-round picks, two guys.
It is a dynasty league for what it's worth, so maybe trying to buy
low.
low.
Oh no, I know, but I'm saying like if you're trading first round picks in a dynasty league at this point of the year, you're trying to like win, right? Like, so why are you trading first round picks for a guy who's out for the season with a concussion probably, and Brooks, who, I mean, I like Brooks as a buy low, but I just don't understand the mentality of loading up on these two guys that are both injured right now with these first round picks.
Olave out for the season. He might have to retire.
Yeah, right. I don't know. Like, it's really bad. He's like got so many concussions, and he had like 3 this year. So I don't know why you would be paying. It's a buy low, but I don't know why you do it now, especially if you're like, if you're trading your first round picks in the middle of the season, you should be trying to win a championship, I would think.
Oh, Scrap Daddy, look at this. Cooper inactive.
Yeah,
well, it looks like you're going to go Ricky Pearsall. That answers that. Good work.
I would say so.
Good work,
I don't know.
Daddy.
I still think Cooper might have some value.
I mean, wheels up for Khalil Shakir.
Oh, my God.
With both Coleman and Cooper out now. Dalton Kincaid gets a boost. James Cook the running game, and James Cook gets a boost. Okay.
I'm trying to get confirmation on this, but Jesus. So, I mean, who else? So, is it Matt Collins? Is he the other Bill receiver?
Yeah, he's there. I don't think I would. I mean, maybe like throw him at like a minimum DFS price lineup type guy, but I wouldn't.
I might have to pick him up in the league right now. Actually, I might be. Would you start Matt Collins or Alec Pierce?
Alec Pierce.
Okay.
Because
my heart says Matt Collins, but
he's been good. They throw him in the red zone, and it's Josh Allen.
Yeah, that's why my heart says Matt Collins. But Alec Pierce has actually produced, and I think if you're that low, if you're scraping the barrel that low, I think you have to go with the guy that's shown something.
Okay. Well, I started the season with Olave, Ayuk, and Nico, and then I lost Juju. I've just been losing. I've lost like 7 wide receivers.
Oh, so. Listen to this. I have a league where I lost Brandon Ayuk, Christian Kirk, and Michael Pittman stinks.
Yeah. How early did you take Pittman?
It's a dynasty league.
Okay.
So I've had him, but yeah, I took Pittman in the 3rd round in our 16-team league, and that feels awful now.
At least you put your money where your mouth is. I don't know how many messages we spent going back to those wide receiver ranks. It was only yours, it's just so funny but you made like the Garrett Wilson's looking great.
Drake London's looking great.
I think he had more wins than losses.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey, so that's what it's about.
Yeah.
Debo's starting as well. I think we figured that, but it's good to get that confirmation. If
I don't know if he's saying he's starting Debo or Debo just starting. Yeah. What else? So let's just do quick.
The other Bills guy is Curtis Samuel. Is like just kind of there still.
I was so wrong. That's another miss of mine, Curtis.
Yeah, I mean, he's been awful, but I also just think with 2 wide receivers out, like he's got a chance to at least kind of exist in a volume role.
Is this the week?
Who gets the biggest bump? James Cook? Do you think so? James Cook, dual threat?
Well, I think Kincaid gets the biggest bump.
Yeah. Shakir Kincaid?
Yeah, Shakir, I think, was going to get 7 catches either way, probably, though. I think Kincaid is the one that really can go.
Oh, I'm betting both. Okay, we're gonna wrap. Anthony, any more bets? Let's get gambling.
Let's see here. I have Jameson Williams longest reception over 20.5 yards.
20.5. Wow, it's low.
Yeah, that is low. And I went with receptions over 40 yards. Just kind of looking into this one when I wrote the preview. I did it before I actually looked up the over under, or maybe I would have went with 20. But the Texans have given up a ton. And when I say a ton, I think it's like 3, which is a lot for the league. I lied. 6 receptions of over 40+ yards, which is the 3rd most. That's where I got 3 from.
Wow, I thought the secondary's been pretty good.
Yeah, but they have a penchant to give up big plays. I got it from the official NFL website. So
yeah, I believe it. So the Jets, right? They had Devontae, maybe and Wilson both had those 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, so I mean while the Texans defense is pretty good, they have a penchant for giving up big plays, and Jameson Williams has 3 receptions this season of over 40 yards. So I like a long bomb for Jameson Williams this week, which could put him into flex and possibly wide receiver 2 category, depending how deep your league is and if he gets any more work outside of that potential long bomb. I think that's probably one of my favorite bets I made.
Okay, nice.
I like Saquon to go over 100 yards. I did the alt line rushing. I did the alt line of 100+.
Nice.
It was +20 opposed to, I think, the rushing receiving was 106 and it was minus odds. So one of the plus odds there a little bit, and he's just tremendous. And Dallas isn't that good against running backs, if I recall correctly. Let's see. Any other going? TJ Hawkinson over 3.5 receptions. He had 2 last week. I think that he gets a bit more involved this week. Jacksonville's a bad defense, allowing quite a bit of production to tight ends. Hawkinson has the history of producing. I think he gets 4 receptions today at least.
Okay, cool. Well, we got this game live, so I guess we're gonna wrap up. Any last little hits you want to get out, Patrick? Any last comment, last lean, last anything?
I like Darnell Mooney this week.
Okay. Drake's playing though.
Saints they're not going to offer much resistance. I think that game's going to be a total blowout. And Drake London is going to play, but is obviously banged up. So I think that's
true.
Real possibility for a big game from Mooney.
Is the worry though they just pounded on the ground and then Bijan and Algier sort of combined?
Yeah, that would definitely be concerning. He probably has to get it in at the beginning of the game, is what I would say. So,
okay.
But I also like if you're in that Cam Akers type situation, Algiers is probably a great, second half. He'll have like 75 yards rushing type guy.
Yeah, I might bet that. I like that. Games just try and predict the future, but then the Saints might have that new coach theory and they come out slinging somehow.
Yeah, they could.
Dead cat bounce. Anthony, what do you got for me?
Trying to see if we went. This is where I usually toss in a couple bets if we don't get to it. I don't know that I have any other last minute notes other than, I guess if you're 3-6 or 4-5 and are on the fringe of the playoffs, that's a cute cat, by the way, Patrick.
Thank you. She just decided to invade the.
Don't give up. Make some trades. Looks like I've got some negotiations to do as a team that's trying to put myself over the edge here with Jesse. But yeah, just don't give up, fight, scrap. There's still got to be some waiver wire guys that come up throughout the season. There always is, especially heading right into the playoffs. So just be mindful, be wary, be vigilant, make good decisions.
Stay safe out there. Okay, cool. And then also everyone, Tyreek Hill's up in the air. We should have talked about that, right? If he doesn't play, Jalen Waddle might finally break out.
I am the way I'm handling that with Monday night is I picked up Jonnu Smith ahead of time because I don't want to not. Oh no.
So yeah, make sure you put Tyreek in your flex. right? So then you can, if he doesn't play, then you got more. Oh, what's going on here?
Bryce Young with the run. What do you do? What do you do if Tyreek Hill's your wide receiver too? And like you've got like 3 really good running backs, and Tyreek's your wide receiver too.
You gotta leave him in there. You gotta hope.
There's just not a Dolphins receiver besides. There's
Odell?
not a waiver wire Dolphins wide receiver. Like what? Like Odell?
I think the guy to pick up in case would probably be Demarcus Robinson on the other side for the Rams.
Oh, that's a good call.
He'd probably be the guy to be most comfortable picking up.
That's probably the most widely available.
Or like Tutu Atwell if he's not available.
Yeah.
You should be on the wire now. But okay, guys, we're gonna wrap up. We're gonna watch the rest of this game. Thanks anyone for checking in. Thank you for the questions. If you got anything you didn't get in, head over to the Discord. Someone will be jumping on in over the next 90 minutes. Okay. All right. Thanks, guys. Cheers.
All right. Thanks, everyone.